who is your dark horse to finish as the RB1 in 2020?
Right here.
We're going to talk about our dark horse to finish the RB1 in the 2020 season. So we were on Reddit, we're cruising through these topics, and the question was, who is your dark horse to finish as the RB1 in 2020? This has got to be somebody nobody's really thinking about to finish the RB1. Don't give me no Zeke Elliott or Alvin Kamara or CMC. I want somebody, a deep stash, a deep dive. So Johnny, who is your dark horse to finish as the RB1 in 2020?
So I wanted to do something that, I wanted to give a realistic dark horse. I didn't want to just, say I even went back 7 years, 8 years in history to see, where is a realistic spot of grabbing a guy that really could pop off, that could, we saw it a couple of years ago. Todd Gurley, he was drafted, second, early third. The biggest one was Devonta Freeman, 4 or 5 years ago when he was taken in the 8th, and then he was the number 1 overall. But other than that, it was pretty much you're going to get your guy in the first, second, maybe early third part of drafts that can be the number 1. So that kind of narrowed it down, and then I started thinking to myself, well, there has been a guy that we've talked about on this show, and I do like him quite a bit. Now, he does come with some risk, but I feel like that's kind of when I'm looking at a lot of these cases of these guys that do become the RB1 for the dark horse RB1, they did have risk, and they did have some something to overcome in coming into the system. And so my guy is going to be the one, the only Nick Chubb. I think he is my dark horse to get the number 1 overall running back. And listen, I've talked about Steve Stefanski, the importance of him coming, how much they think or how much he will run the ball there. He helped Dalvin Cook finish as the RB5 last year in 14 games. Listen, Nick Chubb has stayed healthy his entire career, so you like a 16-game sample size. He could get there, and then he's had just under 1,500 rushing yards last season. And you look at, speaking of our draft kit, look at on our cheat sheet. You look at the right column where it says O-line rankings. Where do you see Cleveland's O-line ranking? At number 6, and we just talked about the major correlation between, top running backs and top O-lines. And so, I understand Kareem Hunt is there, but, Alexander Mattison was there last year with Dalvin Cook, and we all think Alexander Mattison is a really good – I'm not comparing Alexander Mattison to Kareem Hunt, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying there is a chance and a real possibility that Nick Chubb does lead this backfield and gets the majority of carries, and he could bust off. I like Nick Chubb.
Yeah, look, I love Nick Chubb. The talent is undeniable. He's been great since he entered the league. He's a fantastic runner. If you think about Kareem Hunt, who's in the same backfield, and you think about how good Kareem Hunt was, I mean, he led the league in rushing as a rookie. Well, Nick Chubb's better than Kareem Hunt, and that's proven by the depth chart that they have over in Cleveland. He's a better runner than Kareem Hunt, bottom line. I will say the only thing I have problem with it is a dark horse because Kareem Hunt exists. Kareem Hunt does definitely cap some of Nick Chubb's upside, but should something happen to Kareem Hunt, or should Nick Chubb just start blowing the doors off of people, he could definitely see even more touches than he did last year, but we did see some of that.
Imagine if, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what if they trade Kareem Hunt? How do we know?
Yes, it was definitely possible.
It was very similar to a few years ago, when Nick Chubb.
Well, and Kareem Hunt still has a DUI thing going on. He did have a DUI after the Super Bowl because I could imagine he saw the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and he was not very happy that he didn't play for them anymore. But either way, he did deal with that. So that's in the works. So for me, I wanted to talk about what was possible within the system, right? So we've talked before about how hard it is to finish as the RB1, especially to repeat it. But somebody has repeated it recently, and that's Todd Gurley. In 2017 and in 2018, he finished as the RB1. And so that tells me that Sean McVay, who is still the head coach of the Rams, has the ability to get his running back at the RB1. So for me, my dark horse is Cam Akers. I understand it's a rookie. It's a little shaky, but this is a dark horse. I wanted to come out of nowhere with it. And so the idea was, look, just 2 to 3 years ago, he had Todd Gurley getting back-to-back years of 250 or more carries, 59 or more receptions. 2017, he had 19 touchdowns total, and in 2018, he had 21 touchdowns total. Even last year, with Gurley's knee and all this, they didn't work him in the passing game. He had over 220 carries and scored 14 total touchdowns. So the touchdown upside is there. We know that if you're the main guy in this, you're going to get at least 200 to 270 carries, or 220 to 270 carries, and you have a shot at getting 320 points in this offense if it's clicking on all cylinders. I think there's a lot to say here that if Cam Akers wins this job, the upside is really there, at least a league winner, but I mean, dare I say RB1. I'm really excited about the prospects of Cam Akers in that offense.
The one thing I'll say is we had the news come out yesterday with the Sean McVay saying that he wanted to employ an RBBC. That was dreaded news. But I will say that could benefit Whisper Nation, because now Cam Akers' draft stock should fall. And as a result, I've always said I like to take, similar to San Francisco, give me the second piece of that cog, because, they go through a lot of running backs because it is a brutal kind of system. The way that it's just set up, you're giving your all on every single run. And so if Cam Akers, can get into that 9-10 round area, why not? It was, you said it. Even Todd Gurley, the year that he popped off, was going, in the 5th or 6th round. So it is possible. I like the call. It is bold, but I like it.
Yeah, I just look at a system that can get you there, and we've seen this system get a guy there twice at the RB1. So that was kind of my thinking behind the Cam Akers. Nice. Chelsea, did you have a dark horse this week or this year that you think could get RB1?
It's funny that Johnny started mentioning with Nick Chubb. I totally think that 2020 is the year the Browns take it all. Like, what else does this trash year deserve?
Oh my god!
But I wasn't thinking Nick Chubb. I was thinking if it's a true dark horse candidate, then it is going to be Kareem Hunt finding his way to the top of that backfield. I hate to count on injuries, but I just feel like some crazy dominoes are going to fall, and we're going to see Kareem Hunt do some Kareem Hunt-like things. That was mine.
It's crazy. It's so crazy to me. Every year we get, as an industry, we get smacked in the face for trusting the Cleveland Browns. And every year we go right back to it. We're like an addict. We're like, we got to jump back on the Cleveland
We all
Browns
love the
family.
underdog story. It's the underdog story. But here's what I love about Chelsea's pick that's so great is there are two different kind of outcomes, right? Like there's the outcome that, and both are like very realistic, that Hunt could be the RB1. One is that he does, based on injury, get the number one pick, or whatever, and that he gets that way. Or if he does get traded to a team and that team ends up being, like he could be the RB1 on that team, and then he could see his path there. So I really do like that. Well done, Chelsea. Well done.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.